As most of you know, I recently upgraded from my faithful old 2007 Ford Ranger to my brand new 2022 Isuzu DMAX. Now, there's a lot of reasons why I chose to upgrade, but if we're looking at purely off-road performance, how do these two compare? To find out, we've come down to the Mundaring Powerlines Track, which is one of the more renowned four-wheel drive tracks in Perth. Bianca's going to take the reins of the mighty DMAX. I'm going to jump in the old Ranger, and let's go see what's what.
Let's go.
All right, here we go. Ranger versus DMAX part one. I'm leading in the Ranger. I've done this track a few times, so I'm somewhat familiar with it, although it does look like it's changed a little bit since the last time I was here.
So I'm a very amateur four-wheel drive, so for starters, this is an unfair test because the Ranger is being driven by Daniel and the DMAX is being driven by me. But in reality, if the DMAX can do everything the Ranger's doing, then that kind of means the DMAX is better because I'm the one driving it. I did it.
So although these utes are from completely different areas, they actually are quite similar in a lot of ways, and that should make this test pretty interesting. They're both IFS four-wheel drive utes. Obviously the Ranger has torsion bar front suspension, the DMAX has coil suspension, so that's our first point of difference. They both have a 2-inch lift. The Ranger is running a Dobinson's 2-inch lift and the DMAX is running a Petter's 2-inch lift. They've both got upgraded larger four-wheel drive tyres, both aggressive all-terrain tyres. The Ranger is running BFG's KO2s, whereas the DMAX is on Maxxis Razor 811s. The only real main difference I see between the two is that the DMAX has a factory rear diff lock.
What is that? I'm literally just taking everything out of the glove box. That's not it. What is that noise? My opinion so far is it's really good. I keep watching the Ranger and it like lifts off one or two wheels because the suspension's so stiff, and then the DMAX just like ponders through like it's nothing.
I must say, the Ranger's never let me down off-road. It's definitely stood up to everything I've faced it with, which I suppose isn't that gnarly. Or what this bit looks like it might be. This is where my no rear locker is going to play a factor, I think.
Oh my god, you're going down. You're good. You can keep going back now, you're good. You've cleared it. I think we've literally got a fan asking about the Ranger. Getting recognised, peeps. Driving. Oh, yum. Did he recognise you?
Yeah, watched all the videos.
No, cute. I thought so. One thing I don't like about the DMAX as compared to the Ranger is the Ranger you get a lot more feedback through the steering wheel. You can kind of feel where your tyres are, you feel what's going on underneath, but the DMAX, it's got so much, it's a lot lighter steering, so you don't get that same feedback, which is great and nice and smooth for when you're traveling on the roads, but in full drive situations, and me personally, I like to have the feedback through the steering wheel so I can know exactly where my wheels are and what they're going over. So I do feel a little bit extra blind about that in the DMAX, but I would still put up with it because it's something that you can get used to. But that is one thing I don't like about full driving in this car. Oh, that looks pretty easy-ish. Oh my god.
Go on, Ranger, show the new girl how it's done.
Turn in a bit, yep. Now straighten the wheels up.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate the help.
No worries at all, mate.
Guess it's your turn in the mighty DMAX.
So how did you break your DMAX, Daniel? Well, I left it with Bianca for a second. Oh, I'm shaking. It was scary. But I did it.
So we just finished up the Mundaring Powerlines Track and lifted many wheels in the process, which is pretty much a staple when it comes to IFS utes like these. Both cars handle the track really, really well. Bianca handled the track really, really well too. It's kind of her first experience doing that style of forward driving.
Absolutely. So. My forward driving experience has mostly been on beaches. I've definitely been passenger through a lot of this stuff, but I've never actually driven it. And my God, I feel like I went from like the absolute beginner level to like quite an extreme level today. But yeah, it was really fun. So
yeah, so she did really, really
guidance was definitely needed.
Yeah, in terms of how these vehicles both performed, it's probably worth mentioning that IFS utes really aren't designed to do the type of forward driving we were taking them through today. They're more set up for your long distance camping, touring, and a bit of beach forward driving, I suppose. But in saying that, they both handle the track really, really well. Quite comparable in probably 95% of the track.
Yeah, there was only really like one point where the DMAX got through where the Ranger didn't, and that was purely because of this thing's rear diff lock.
Yeah, so
that
rear
was
diff
the
lock,
only thing that made the difference.
that makes a massive difference because not only for how much of the track you can get through, but it also allows you to take it a lot slower and just kind of have the confidence that those wheels will keep tugging along and you can kind of get through everything.
Whereas the Ranger, you kind of got to
speed.
just fully send it and
Yeah,
hope
so the
for
Ranger
best.
will get through most of those same spots. You just have to go a little bit faster, and that's when you start to break things.
Yeah.
So for control, definitely the newer car.
Yeah.
But if you're just looking for a car to kind of get you to your campsite and all the tracks involved in getting there, an old car like the Ranger is going to do you just fine, or pretty much anything from that similar era.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Rangers, Navaras, BT50s, Tritons, all of those are pretty similar.
The only other thing I'd add on is that the suspension was definitely more comfortable in the DMAX, but so it should be.
Yeah.
It's a brand new car and it's had a full suspension kit done in it.
Yeah, so you get the coil suspension on the DMAX compared to the torsion bar front suspension on the Ranger. They're both
Absolutely makes a
upgraded,
difference.
but the DMAX is definitely a more comfortable car.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, so we'll leave it there. Just wanted to show you guys a few key parts of the track. It's quite a long forward drive track, this one. Definitely recommend checking it out if you live in the Perth area.
Yeah, it's a fantastic day out to take, with your friends and stuff. And even if you can't get up the real gnarly stuff, there's always a little side track that you can kind of go on.
Great point. Don't get peer pressured into sending your car on something you're not confident doing, because this track will break your car, and it's broken a few of mine over the years.
It's very common to leave this track with your car having broken bits or completely broken.
Yeah,
very common.
so luckily we're not doing that today, which is great news. I guess we got to wrap it up and kind of quit while we're ahead. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Happy full driving. Hungry.
I think the DMAX definitely has more suspension trouble.
For sure. I'm literally eating a banana right now.